rules that shall govern our exchange this day. Noble friends, first let it be known that we gather here today in the spirit of our ancestors, striving as they did for that distant ideal of chivalry that balances prowess with courtesy and sincerity.
Let it also be known that we gather here not for an emprise à la guerre, where blood is sought, but rather à la plaisance, where combatants meet in order that they be better known to one another, that they revel in the joy they combat, that bounds our society together, and for the entertainment and amusement of the gallery, the collection of ladies and spectators that symbolizes the grace and nobility for which we fight.
Let it be known that while we find ourselves opponents on the field of battle, we are not enemies, but are rather brothers in arms seeking to draw from one another superior excellence in the display of prowess and chivalry.
Let it be known that these are the reasons for our presence here today. Are we in agreement on this?
Yes.
Aye.
Now, we will read the rules of combat.
Be it known that these knights and men-at-arms, desirous of testing their mettle and their character on the king's field, stand now to defend the field, offering their swords in the service of chivalry, at whose request they answer in coming here. Any gentleman of note, be they man or woman, men-at-arms, squire, knight, or nobleman, is welcome to participate in this pas d'armes, providing that they adhere to the rules that follow.
First item, all combatants shall bear themselves with good grace to advance the cause of chivalry, rather than the base spirit of victory.
Second item, each combatant shall comport themselves bearing mutual responsibility for themselves and their opponent. The safety of your opponent is your responsibility.
Item, all combatants shall hold themselves ready in their respective quarters.
Item, all combatants shall not discuss the veracity of a telling blow during combat, as this bores the gallery.
Item, both our tenons and our maidens will be introduced, so that the combatants might be better known to one another.
Item, following the introductions, the venons will be called up in groups of 3, offering persuasive words of challenge, while the previous combatants arm and prepared to take the field.
Item, for the challenge, the attackers shall strike Charlemagne's Tree of Shields. Just lost this. Choosing the shield that represents the combat they desire.
First, they will strike the weapons that will be used by both: the great sword, the bastard sword, single one-handed sword, axe, spear.
Next, they will strike the number of blows that will be fought. 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
The blows counted will be those received. There is no limit to blows thrown.
Following the challenge, there will be a grand melee, in which all combatants are invited to take the field, armed with any weapon of their choosing, to be fought for the entertainment of the gallery, and for the joy to combat of the combatants. The number of passes will be determined by the gallery.
After the grand melee, a barrier will be erected across the center of the field so that the venons may defend their side of the barrier by way of challenge so previously discussed.
Following the tenants' challenge, the gallery will have an opportunity to offer their own challenges. One by one, they will match tenon with venon, announcing the number of counted blows to be thrown and the weapon styles they wish to be used.
The final round of the pas d'armes will be a grand melee over the barrier, fought with single swords. A single telling blow will be sufficient to eliminate a combatant, but they might petition the gallery to allow them to rejoin their companions. The combat will end when there are no companions left on either side, or when the combatants determine that the fight should be ended.
Afterward, all combatants will then line up before the gallery to receive their just praise. At that time, the gallery will select their champion.
Final item. While the prize for the pot of arms is an illumination bearing the event name, it is strongly recommended that the individual combatants bear tokens of their appreciation with them, so that they can present to the combatants or consorts who strike them as particularly worthy of honor. In this way will the renown of virtuous combatants and fair ladies be strengthened, such being the purpose of the pot of arms.
This being read, are the rules understood by all?
Aye.
Noble combatants, having heard these conditions, do you swear to uphold the rules and to do all in your power to set aside the personal avarice of hollow victory, of partisanship, and instead advance the noble spirit of knighthood as it applies to combatants everywhere?
Aye.
Now then, gentle combatants, that the rules have been read, it is time to begin this festival of arms. One final note to all, defenders and attackers alike. Forget not that we are here in part for the entertainment of the gallery, extended. Have no rudeness by being ill-prepared to fight when it is your turn, and refrain from selecting fights that will prove tedious unto them.
Tenants of the pageantry of the sun, return to your side of the field. Tenant Herald, as herald for the tenants, please announce each tenant so they may properly introduce themselves.
Very well.
Where I'm at, you want a different angle? Huh? Where I'm at, you want a different angle? Wherever. Just as long as you get me.
Assembled lords and ladies, it is my august pleasure to introduce the great fighting squirrel, a man who needs literally no introduction, but you shall have one anyway. Lord Kenrick, the mighty. And proceeding down the list,
Gallery. Tenants and fellow tenants. My name is Kenrick Vitalen. Apparently I'm the fighting squirrel. That's new to me. I guess it's accurate. My lady will be here shortly with her child. But I do promise to fight with honor, chivalry, and hopefully entertain you all. Thank you very much.
hide your nuts.
Close as I could come to us with a call.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is again my august pleasure to introduce a powerful tenant in his own right, if only by sheer size and weight. The Honorable Lord Robert!
When I got up this morning, I didn't much feel like fighting. But then I saw your smiling faces and I thought, these people need some entertainment. So here I am, to be as entertaining as possible.
Allow me to introduce Rurik, probably the most powerful tenant in this group. The Baroness Alda! The living death!
He has smelled my armor.
Greetings, gallery. I hope today that we provide plenty of entertainment for you as we fight, as well as we are able to, and thus provide today's entertainment.
Knowing now who defends this list, these defenders now invite the challengers forward that they be known unto populace here assembled. Venin Herald, please announce each Venin so that they may introduce themselves. It is my pleasure to introduce Vikar Bjørnsen.
Great gallery. I come here today to offer entertainment as best that I can and to offer great fighting to my opponents and to my team. And by day's end, I hope that you have enjoyed yourself gratefully, and I look forward to partaking in some drinks afterwards.
Tonight's device, if not a bear. If not a bear, what is your device?
It is a bear, my lady.
It is a bear.
It is a bear with a barrel of meat on its back.
I said it's a bear. I said that.
It is my immeasurable pleasure to introduce Lord Rurik Ulfhamar of Southkeep. Axe and sword in hand, a man inspired by the love of his life, the radiant Brana Phelan. He has traveled far from the south for the honor to test his mettle in both meanings of the word against the great and renowned fighters of the north.
Those are nothing.
Get her, bro.
I now introduce the final Veteran. Claims to be a simple man, but he's truly a man of combat. Lord William of Kent.
Fabulous. Venons, my fellow Venons, stand before you today, not just for your own entertainment, as I know you do like to see me get hit, as evidenced by last couple times y'all saw me get hit. Not only do I hope to get hit again, but also to throw some blows against the Sangre today, in the hope that they may fight me.
Oh, you can expect that, sir.
All this is not only for your enjoyment, but also for love of this lady. She doesn't like it when I bring her up, but I'm going to do it anyway. You got it.
Pull up his pants.
Fire. Oh, sorry.
No, it's his belt. He wears his belt in the back. Sir William the bag.
Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay!
Well, sir,
Now that we are known to one another, but not in the biblical sense. Some of you may. The Venons will, in groups of 3, step forward. Step forward and offer persuasive words of challenge, striking Charlemagne's tree of shields with the style of combat design.
Do you have questions?
What exactly is the giant's
It is
shoot challenge.
your call, your challenge. And forward steps. Rurik. Confident, he stares at the tree and those strange symbols which he doesn't understand.
Good gallery. I hereby challenge Honorable Lord Robert to a fight of axes and 3 blows.
That is Vikar challenging Lord Ricard.
Lord Honorable Lord Robert, thank you.
Access to 3 belts.
3 blows.
3 blows.
Combatants, make yourselves ready. My mistake. We will choose the manner of fighting at once. The next challenger, Lord Rurik. Huzzah! To repeat, Rurik the Wolf has challenged Sir Kenrick to broadsword at 5 5 blows.
For our last challenge.
May I address the populace quickly?
Certainly.
You're here to see fights, yes?
Yeah!
No.
Oh!
That's gonna hurt.
2 axe. Milady, how many blows?
How many do you think?
What's the difference? Let's say 3.
3 is always good.
The insanely valorous
Stamina.
One blow each, huh?
The insanely valorous Veden
The endurance that Lord William of Kent will display in challenging Lord Kenrick, Lord Robert, and Baroness Alta to axe for 3 blows
It'd be 3 each.
each.
Oh, 1 blow each.
He is ready for a beating, folks. You get to be here to watch.
The combat ensues.
You can have the 3 blows and you also.
Sorry?
So is that each one of you that's fighting got 3 blows? So you get to beat each one of the ones and then they
No, no.
each get to hit you 3 times?
Me against each individual one 3, so it's 9 total for me. I get hit 9 times, they each get hit 3 times. Or to whichever's
How
first.
come you get to hit them 3 times more than they get to hit you?
I get to hit each one 3 times, so they each get to hit me 3 times, in theory.
Because Will is so very, very pretty.
I believe the word that my lady said was stupid.
I believe pretty is my wonderfully.
My Lord William, I've not seen you fight before. However, the perforation of your tunic, I anticipate this won't go well.
Well, my lady, it was very funny actually. I started getting dressed, and then I looked at my tunic, like, it just dawned on me how long I've been using this tunic, and it made me sad that I will have to retire this because, well, I could patch it up.
You haven't even grown into it yet.
Oh, no, there's a reason. That's right, Joe?
Probably going to have to make you a new one. Yeah, I don't think you yet. You may be crooked.
I used to, some could tell you that I used to be a little bit larger in the midsection.
There's a little more of the
A little bit more of will to see. But I'm down to 185.
Out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm tall and armored and
You're tall and
ugly
big.
Do you need more seating? We have a
Oh, it's fine. I'm up on the bottom. Are you going to be able to at least do some pickups? Yeah, we're going to do lots of
I've seen that a few times.
They just, is it that, is there something that you're missing? No, I'm not all for that. Oh, I see. Awesome.
One for light weapons so that way I don't constantly move back and forth between my kids.
Cool. All right, cool. At least I just want to make sure you're going to have get beat on a little bit. You know. Yeah. I want to get some pictures.